Welcome back, everyone, to The Sleep Cure. We get so many questions from our listeners, and a big one seems to be about sleep, especially for those over 55.
Yeah, you're right. It's a huge topic. And from what you've shared with me, it seems like a lot of people are struggling. Over 70% of those over 55, actually. And a lot of people just think it's a normal part of getting older, but
Yeah, it's not, is it?
not at all.
And what really stood out to me in all this research is just how serious the health risks can be when you don't get enough sleep. It's way more than just feeling tired during the day.
Right. We're talking about a much higher risk of serious health problems. The research you shared even mentions a 45% higher risk of heart disease. And then there's the connection to diabetes and even Alzheimer's, which is pretty scary.
For sure. And it's not always just about how many hours you're in bed either, right? You mentioned some other signs that might mean someone's sleep is off.
Exactly. Waking up feeling exhausted, feeling foggy all day, or tossing and turning all night, even if you are technically in bed for a good amount of time, those are all signs that something might be up.
So today, we're going to really dig deep into this. We're going to look at a method that, according to the research, is backed by science and could help you sleep better. And get this, potentially fall asleep in just 3 minutes. And of course, all without relying on medication.
3 minutes.
I know, right? It sounds almost too good to be true.
It does, but there's some pretty interesting science behind it, which we'll definitely get into today.
Absolutely. Before we jump in, just a quick reminder for everyone listening, if you find this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future episodes.
Definitely, we appreciate it.
Okay, let's start with the basics. Why are sleep problems so common, especially after 55?
Well, it's partly because of the changes our bodies go through as we age. For example, melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle, well, we produce less of it as we get older.
So the signal that tells your brain it's time to sleep isn't as strong. Makes sense.
Exactly. And then you're also more likely to develop health conditions that can make it harder to sleep well as you get older. Things like high blood pressure, joint pain,
Oh,
diabetes,
yeah, I see.
reflux, anxiety, even loneliness. All of these can mess with your sleep.
It's almost like a chain reaction, one thing leading to another, and eventually it affects your sleep. Plus, our modern lifestyles don't exactly help, do they?
No, not at all. There's so much stimulation all the time, especially in the hours before we go to bed. TV, phones, all those devices with their artificial light, it keeps our brains active when we should be winding down.
Yeah, our brains are constantly on, even when our bodies are screaming for rest. One really important point that kept coming up in the research is that poor sleep isn't just something you have to accept as you age.
Absolutely. Even though sleep problems are more common as you get older, it doesn't mean it's normal or that you should just live with it. It's often a sign that something else is going on, something that needs to be addressed.
So it's not just your fate to sleep badly as you get older. Okay, let's talk about the serious stuff.
Hmm.
The health risks. I think many people underestimate just how bad it can be if you don't get enough sleep.
I agree. It's not just about feeling tired. When you don't sleep enough, it really increases your risk for some pretty serious chronic diseases.
Yeah, that statistic about heart attacks was really eye-opening.
Right. Sleeping less than 6 hours a night increases your risk by 48%. That's a lot. And it makes sense when you think about it. Poor sleep messes with your blood pressure. It can cause inflammation.
Wow, that's a big increase. And it's not just heart problems either.
Nope, there's a whole range of things. Weakened immune system, faster aging, hormone imbalances.
I see.
You're also more likely to develop type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, become obese, and even some types of cancer.
And what about the impact on our brains? Especially as we get older, memory and focus are so important.
Absolutely. When you don't get enough good sleep, your concentration suffers, your memory gets worse, and your overall cognitive function declines faster. And the link to dementia, including Alzheimer's, is pretty alarming.
So it's not just about feeling groggy. Ignoring sleep problems is seriously risky for your health.
Exactly. Good sleep is like food and water. Your body needs it to function properly.
Okay, so now that we understand why sleep problems are so common and how serious they can be, let's dive into how sleep actually works and how things change as we get older. This is super important to understand why this 3-minute method might actually work, especially for our listeners.
You got it. You need to understand what's going on under the hood to really appreciate how to fix things. Sleep isn't just about switching off. There are different stages, and each stage has a special job to do.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about these stages.
Well, during deep sleep, your body repairs tissues, strengthens the immune system, and regulates hormones.
Wow, it's doing all that while you're asleep.
Exactly. And then there's REM sleep, rapid eye movement, which usually happens later in the night. That's when your brain is busy consolidating memories, processing emotions, and even getting rid of toxins.
I see. So each stage has a specific purpose, and these stages change as we get older.
They do. As we mentioned, melatonin production decreases. Our circadian rhythms, which is basically our internal 24-hour clock that tells us when to sleep and wake up, well, it becomes more sensitive to things like light and noise, making it harder to sleep. And a lot of older adults find themselves falling asleep earlier and waking up more often during the night.
Makes sense. And we talked about those health conditions too. They can disrupt our sleep cycles even more.
Exactly. Arthritis, prostate problems, sleep apnea, anxiety.
Oh,
They can all lead to lighter, more fragmented sleep, which isn't as restful. You might be in bed for 7 or 8 hours, but if you're not getting enough of that deep, restorative sleep, you'll still wake up feeling exhausted.
so it's not just about the quantity of sleep, it's about the quality. Fascinating. This brings us to this 3-minute method you mentioned earlier, which claims to help people fall asleep quickly and deeply. Tell me more about that.
All right, this method is really intriguing. The research suggests that it can help you fall asleep in about 3 minutes without any medication and, most importantly, without any side effects.
3 minutes. I'm still skeptical, but go on.
I know, right? It sounds crazy. But the science behind it is pretty solid. It was actually developed for the U.S. military.
Really? The military?
Yeah, they needed a way for soldiers to fall asleep quickly and reliably, no matter where they were, even in a war zone, with noise, stress, and danger all around.
So they needed something that worked under extreme pressure. I guess that speaks to its potential effectiveness.
Exactly. The idea was to train the mind and body to switch into sleep mode quickly, even in the worst conditions. And it worked so well that it eventually made its way to the public. And the research suggests that it's particularly helpful for older adults who might have lost that easy ability to fall asleep.
Interesting. And it's not just one trick, right? It's based on 3 scientific principles. Tell me more about those.
Okay, so the first principle is progressive muscle relaxation. It involves tensing and then releasing different muscle groups in a specific order. This actually helps activate your parasympathetic nervous system.
Now, remind me what that is again.
It's the part of your nervous system that's responsible for rest and relaxation. By tensing and releasing, you're basically telling your body to shift from fight or flight to rest and digest. It slows your heart rate and calms your mind, making it easier to sleep.
So you're consciously relaxing your muscles to signal to your body that it's safe to unwind. Okay, what's the second principle?
That would be breath control. This one involves slow, deep breathing exercises, which, as you probably know, can help to slow down your heart rate. It sends a direct message to your brain that it's time to relax and get ready for sleep.
It's using the link between your breathing and your heart rate to calm your brain down. I get it. And the third principle?
The third one is guided visualization. Basically, you create a calm, peaceful image in your mind and focus on it. This helps to interrupt those negative thoughts that often keep you awake. It's kind of like counting sheep, but more engaging and effective because you're actively creating a calming scene in your mind.
It's like redirecting your thoughts from worries to something peaceful. Sounds pretty clever. And it's not complicated, right? Anyone can do this.
Absolutely. You don't need any special skills or experience. Just follow the instructions calmly and consistently.
Okay, let's get to the step-by-step instructions. I know our listeners are eager to try this out.
All right, so first things first, preparation. Find a comfortable spot, preferably lying on your back. Make sure it's quiet and dimly lit.
Create a sleep sanctuary, basically.
Exactly. Then, step one is to completely relax all the muscles in your face. Forehead, jaw, tongue, eyelids, everything. The research even suggests imagining your face melting into the pillow.
I like that visual. Okay, what's next?
Step two, release the tension in your shoulders and arms. Let your shoulders drop like they're carrying a heavy weight. Let your arms fall loosely by your sides and relax your elbows, forearms, wrists, and fingers. Just let go of all that tension.
Just completely surrender to gravity. Step 3.
Step three is to relax your chest, legs, and feet. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, consciously relax your chest, then your abdomen, thighs, knees, calves, and finally your feet. Imagine your whole body sinking into the mattress.
It's like a systematic relaxation from head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get to the breathing part.
Yes, step four is breath control. Breathe in slowly and deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this at least 4 times.
That 4-7-8 breathing pattern is pretty well known for relaxation. Okay, last step.
The last step is guided visualization. Imagine yourself lying in a hammock under a tree, a gentle breeze blowing on your face. Hold that peaceful image in your mind, and as you do, mentally repeat, don't think, don't think, don't think, for about 10 seconds.
It's like a mental lullaby. The research explains that all of these steps work together to calm your mind and body and prepare you for sleep.
Right. It disconnects your brain from those anxious thoughts and helps you relax deeply. And a lot of people actually fall asleep before they even finish all the steps.
That's encouraging. But what if it doesn't work right away?
That's okay. Like with any new habit, it takes time for your mind and body to adjust. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't happen instantly. Keep practicing consistently, and you should start seeing results within a week.
Consistency is key. And speaking of habits, the research also emphasizes how important it is to pay attention to what you do in the hours leading up to bedtime. Certain things can really sabotage your sleep, even if you're doing the 3-minute method.
You're absolutely right. What you do in those 2 hours before bed can make or break your sleep quality. It sets the stage for either a restful night or a restless one.
Let's go over some of the things to avoid. Screen time was a big one, right?
Huge. Phones, tablets, TVs, computers. That blue light they emit really messes with your melatonin production. Ideally, you should turn off all screens at least an hour before bed.
Yeah, that's a tough one for a lot of people, but it's worth trying. What else should we avoid?
Definitely stay away from stressful content like the news or anything violent, and avoid arguments or intense conversations. Those things can rev up your brain and increase your cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone that can make it harder to relax.
It's all about creating a calm atmosphere before bed. What about food and drinks?
Well, you should avoid caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol close to bedtime. Alcohol might make you sleepy at first, but it disrupts your sleep later in the night, preventing you from getting that deep, restorative sleep.
Makes sense.
Caffeine and nicotine are stimulants, so it's best to avoid them after 5 p.m. And eating heavy meals or late-night snacks can cause indigestion and discomfort, making it hard to relax. Your last big meal should be at least 2 hours before bed.
So give your body time to digest. What about exercise?
While exercise is generally great for sleep, intense workouts close to bedtime can actually make it harder to fall asleep. If you want to be active in the evening, stick to something gentle, like a walk or some light stretching.
So it's all about winding down in those last few hours before bed. But even with the 3-minute method and good sleep hygiene, some people still struggle. The research also talks about some common mistakes that can mess up your sleep.
Yeah, sometimes we sabotage ourselves without even realizing it.
Like what?
One big mistake is going to bed when you're not actually sleepy. Lying in bed awake can be frustrating and actually train your brain to associate your bed with anxiety instead of sleep. If you're not tired, get out of bed and do something relaxing in another room until you feel sleepy.
Don't force it. What else?
Don't stay in bed for too long if you can't fall asleep. If you've been trying for more than 20 minutes and you're still wide awake, get up and do something relaxing in dim light. Go back to bed only when you're actually feeling tired.
I see. It's about breaking that association between your bed and insomnia.
Exactly. Another common mistake is taking long naps or napping too late in the day. If you need a nap, keep it short, no more than 30 minutes, and try to nap before 3 p.m.
So strategic napping is key. What about those of us who can't shut off our brains at night?
Ah, the overthinkers. If you find yourself worrying or planning in bed, keep a notebook by your bedside. Write down your thoughts and to-dos, that way you can release them from your mind and let yourself relax.
Like a brain dump before bed.
Exactly. And lastly, don't give up hope. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that nothing will help, especially as you get older. But remember, sleep is a habit, and you can train yourself to sleep better no matter your age.
It's a reminder that we have more control over our sleep than we think. Okay, let's move on to the long-term game. Building those solid sleep habits for deep, restful sleep.
This is so important. While the 3-minute method is great for falling asleep quickly, having those healthy habits in place is what's going to ensure you consistently get a good night's sleep.
So what are some of the key habits we should be focusing on?
Number 1, stick to a regular sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's natural clock and melatonin production, so your body knows when it's time to wind down and wake up.
Consistency is key for everything, right?
Pretty much. Another great habit is to create a relaxing bedtime routine. A consistent routine before bed signals to your body that it's time to relax. This could be anything from taking a warm bath or reading a book to doing some gentle stretches or listening to calming music.
It's all about creating that predictable pathway to sleep.
Exactly. Make your bedroom your sleep sanctuary. Don't work, eat, or watch TV in bed. You want your brain to associate your bed with sleep and nothing else. And of course, make sure your bedroom is dark, cool, and quiet.
Optimize the sleep environment.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of daytime exercise. Physical activity during the day helps you release tension and improves your sleep quality. Even a 30-minute walk can make a difference.
So being active helps you rest better.
Interesting. And get some sunlight every morning, especially early in the day. This helps to regulate your circadian rhythms, which is that internal clock we were talking about, and it helps your body produce melatonin at the right time.
Everything is connected. And what about calming the mind before sleep? Any tips for that?
There are a lot of things you can try. Gratitude exercises are great, deep breathing, or even a short meditation session. These can help to reduce stress and quiet those racing thoughts that keep you awake.
So it's about taking proactive steps to manage stress and create a calm mental space before bed. All these habits together create a really strong foundation for good sleep.
Exactly. And remember, good sleep is an act of self-care. It's a way to prevent disease, and it's absolutely essential for overall health.
This has been a truly fascinating deep dive into sleep, especially for those over 55. We've learned so much about why sleep problems are so common, the serious health risks involved, and most importantly, some potential solutions, like the 3-minute sleep method and the importance of building healthy sleep habits.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. So just to recap, we talked about why sleep problems become more common as we get older, things like hormonal changes and health conditions, and we emphasized that poor sleep is not something you have to accept as you age.
We talked about how crucial sleep is for your health, how a lack of sleep can increase your risk of heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and other serious problems.
We explain how sleep actually works, the different stages of sleep, and how those change as we get older.
And we introduced the 3-minute sleep method, a scientifically backed technique that could help you fall asleep faster, and we gave you a step-by-step guide to try it out yourself.
We also discussed what to avoid before bed and those common mistakes that can sabotage your sleep. And finally, we explored those powerful habits that can help you establish a healthy sleep routine for the long term.
The choice is yours now. You have the information, you have the tools. You can keep struggling with sleepless nights, or you can start making changes tonight.
It's about taking control of your sleep and ultimately your health. The benefits are immense: more energy, better mood, improved heart health, sharper memory, a stronger immune system, and a better chance of living a longer, healthier life.
If you know anyone who struggles with sleep, share this information with them. It might be just what they need.
And if you found this episode helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tips on improving your health and well-being. If you decide to try the 3-minute method tonight, let us know how it goes in the comments. We're here to support you on your journey to better sleep.
Remember, a good night's sleep is within your reach. It's the foundation of a healthier, happier you. And that journey can begin tonight.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time on The Sleep Cure.